Welcome to another exciting episode of When Do We Get to the Fun Stuff? This is Purana Talk. We're reading the Garuda Purana,
Skanda 1,
chapter 164.
Motilal Banarsidas edition.
That's right. Of which it is volume 13.
We've read all those, but we didn't realize we could record them so easily.
Yes. We only started recording when we got to the really interminably boring. Unless, of course, you're interested in it, in which case it's the eternally fascinating section on diseases.
Yeah.
In which Dhanvantari, the lord of Ayurveda, is speaking to Sushruta. Although in this case, he doesn't say, "Oh, Sushruta." It just starts out. So Dhanvantari said, "Injudicious diet and conduct, sinful actions, ridiculing or killing good people, sinful fights, abductions, accumulated evils of the previous births, all these, in combination, aggravate the morbid principles, Vayu, Pitta, and Kapha. They permeate the various ducts and vessels of the body and contaminate the skin, the fat, the blood, and the flesh. After drying them up, when the doshas come out, they discolor the entire skin. Authorities call this kushtha, cutaneous affections, leprosy, etc. So this is all thought to result from bad behavior.
Well, mostly
Eating
because they
badly,
couldn't find any way to affect it, I think. It must be karmic. Right?
Accumulated evils of previous births.
Right.
Yeah, that's like...
I think it's just a way to explain the fact that they couldn't affect it.
Yeah. 4. When neglected at the outset, these kushtas spread all over the body and vitiate the fundamental principles and constituents of the organism, external and internal. The affected part gets contracted or covered with perspiration and clammy discharges. Minute, terrible germs infest the region. The hair, the skin, the sinews, and the vessels of various secretions are infested by them. Germs get mentioned, although one wonders again, what's the Sanskrit?
Translations are much aided by the original. So, like, if you've got the original language there, you can tell what the original words were, and then you can understand that it's a good translation or not so good.
Okay. This is part 6, or stanza 6. The body of the patient appears to be covered with ashes. Kushtas are of 7 types, being caused by the doshas severally and in twos, or all combined together. And that's what we pointed out in yesterday's episode, how you take 3 things and get 7 combinations.
Right.
Every way that you can unite them. 7 to 10. Although all the doshas are present in every case, the prevalent dosha is to be considered as the main cause. The kushtha kapala is due to Vayu, Adumbara is due to Pitta, and Mandala is due to Kapha. Vichari and Rishya Jihva are due to Vata and Pitta. Charmaika Kushta, prurigo, it says. I presume that's Latin, Prurigo. And back to Sanskrit, Kitima, keloid tumor, it tells us. Siddhma, Alasa, and Vipadika are due to Vayu and Kapha. Dadru, ringworm, and Shatarus are due to Pitta and Kapha.
Ringworm is what verse?
That's in the 7 to 10 chunk, called Dadru in Sanskrit, Dadru, but they're calling it ringworm, and they're saying it's due to a doshic issue with Pitta and Kapha. Pundarika Vispota, Pama, Charmadala, and Kakana are due to the combined action of all the three doshas. The first three, i.e. Kapala, Audumbara, and Mandala, Dadru, Kakani, Pundarika, Rishya, Jiva, and the seven Mahakushtas are the seven Mahakushtas, So it names them and then it names them again, telling us that they're the seven great kushtas. Skin ailments, I guess. 11 to 14. Some of the affected patches are soft and some are rough. In some cases there is perspiration, in some cases there is no perspiration. Pallor, burning, and itching sensations, somnolence, which it says is loss of feeling, pricking pain, affection of the optic nerves, darkness of vision, excessive pain in the limbs, rapid appearance and permanent stay of the patches, roughness to the touch, aggravation when the slightest cause is present, horripilation and dark black color of the blood, all these are the preliminary symptoms of kushtha. The patches in the Kapala type of kushtha resemble a black and reddish skull. I was wondering, because Kapala, it sounds like the skull bowl sect of yogis, and it is apparently a reference to the skull. The patches that resemble a skull are attended with excruciating pain. They are dry and rough, of irregular formation, and are covered over with dirty hair. The kushtha is highly dreadful. 15 to 17. The patch in the Audumbara type of kushtha has the color of Udumbara, Audumbara being derivative from Udumbara. This is a fig, an Indian fig, from Ficus indica. It is circular in shape. It exudes copious discharge of pus. It is attended with excessive pain and a burning sensation. The patches are not contiguous, nor do they burst. Many germs are found in them. In the Mandala kushtha, erythema, erythema, the patches are firm, thick, glossy, exuding white and red discharge, congested and overlapping one another, raised, excessively irritating, of copious discharge, and infested with parasites. They are of glossy yellow color. Now, assuming how old this is and the fact that they are not examining things with a microscope, are we to believe that these quote-unquote germs and parasites that are being described are visible with the naked eye?
I would assume so. And it could be things like, worms, flies. I mean, there's
there are things. There are things. Vicharika, the Vicharika type of kushtha is irritating, black in color, and covered with exuding pustules. I think it means pustules, not pustules, but there you go. Rough to the touch, they are red in the extremities and black within and slightly raised. The kushtha known as Rishya Jiva is infested with a number of germs. It resembles the tongue of the deer Rishya. Okay, it's Jiva, his tongue, so it's Rishya, the deer Rishya. I guess this is a particular deer and that's his proper name. In the Charmakya kushtha, the patch is rough to the touch, like the skin of an elephant. 20. In the Kitima type of kushtha, the patch is dry and resembles the scales of a fish. It is hard and shining and has the color of fire. It irritates. 21-22. A kind of patch rough within and glossy outside, by rubbing with dust is scattered, is smooth to the touch. There is no perspiration. It resembles a flower without dewdrops. It is usually formed in the thin layers at its upper ends. It is characterized by itching sensations and red marks. This is called vipadika and usually affects hands and feet. 2324. In the type of kushtha called dadru, ringworm, the ulcer gives excruciating pain and itching sensation. The eruptions are red. They spread like the durva grass, tinged with a color like that of an atassi flower, which it tells us is linseed. It has an elevated ring-like groove. It produces itching sensation. Its roots are thick. It is characterized by burning sensation. It emits blood and is full of wounds. 2526. It gives a burning sensation and is generally caused by all the humors in combination. The surrounding zone is red or tawny colored. It gives an itching sensation and excruciating pain. The pustules are white or red, and the patch appears like leaves of lotus covered with drops of water. This kushtha is called pundarika. Pundarika. Excuse me. 27. In the type of kushtha called pama, the ulcers exude discharges and give itching sensation and excruciating pain. They have a dusky or reddish hue and are very rough. Generally, they appear in elbows and buttocks. 28. An excruciating pain and burning sensation characterize the kushta's charmadala and kakana. So an excruciating pain and burning sensation characterize the kushta's charmadala and kakana, where the eruptions can be touched but emit blood when scratched. The kakana type is at first red but turns into black, resembling the washings of triphala. Triphala fruit, triphala is 3 fruits, the Ayurvedic formula. So, so it resembles the washings of. What's that mean?
Well, I don't know, unless they're talking about making a tea or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Triphala tea. What is that, 29?
29. The kakana type is at first red but turns into black, resembling the washings of triphala. All ulcers in all types of kushtha become black due to their own respective reasons. The different types of kushtha must be understood through their symptoms and actions. That which is caused by all the doshas shall be abandoned as incurable. The kushtha that affects the bones, marrow, and semen is incurable. That which affects the fat, yapya, treated by palliatives, and that which affects our bones or flesh can be cured. The kushtha produced by kapha and vayu in combination is not very difficult to cure. So also is the case of a kushtha that is affected only a kushtha that has affected only the skin and does not secrete any discharge. When the kushtha has affected only the skin, discoloration and roughness of the skin is observed. Perspiration, heat, and swelling, eruptions in hands and feet and in the joints, extreme pressure as if the fat is being crushed on account of the doshas. All these symptoms characterize the kushtha attacking the blood and flesh. The ability of the patient to feel sensations is impaired slightly. Voice becomes sunk and hollow. Eyesight is affected. Fat and marrow in the bones are destroyed. When the germs affect the semen, the patient transmits the disease to his wife and children. All these ailments with the characteristic symptoms affect even animals. 36. Shvitra, leukoderma, and the dreadful disease kilasa have the same exciting factors as kushtha. They are not of the bleeding type. All the 3 dhatus are affected by them. All the doshas cause them. Shvitra, caused by vayu, is rough and red. That of pitta type is copper-colored and shaped like lotus leaves. It gives a burning sensation, and the hair in the affected part fall off. The kapha type of shvitra is thick and white and gives an itching sensation. It gradually affects the blood, flesh, and fat. Both these are incurable. A Shvitra with plenty of hair, not turned white, not contagious, and not contiguous, and of recent origin, can be cured if it is not caused by scalds or burns. Other types are to be abandoned as incurable. A kilisha, psoriasis, in the private parts, lips, or on the palms, even of recent origin, has to be avoided as incurable by persons wishing for success. All diseases are transmitted from person to person by touching, taking food together, sexual intercourse, sharing the same bed or seat, or by using the same clothes, garlands, unguents, etc.
Well, that very last line is important.
Yeah, well, it's recognizing contagion as
Yeah, well,
a cause of transmission of disease, including.
it shows they've noticed that
Yeah.
these are ways you can catch things.
Yeah.
They haven't noticed that not everything is catchable.
Yeah, well, it does say all diseases are transmitted from person to person by touching.
Yeah, which isn't quite true. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Sexual intercourse is the result of genetic passing,
Yeah, but
right, in a way.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
So genes, diseases.
But you can't catch arthritis from rubbing up against somebody, Or,
no, but you might have a genetic predisposition.
Yeah.
That you got through.
Well, I suppose if
it depends on how broad
as they
these
put
are.
it, congenital conditions are transmitted, before birth, essentially.
Right.
So
things like psoriasis that are genetic based.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
Were hard to affect with herbalism. So you can see why they might think that's not curable.
Okay, let's do more tomorrow. This was so much fun. Here we go.